Hello and welcome to November 2024's edition of What the Heck is Going On in the Housing Market. If you're new to my monthly update series, hi, my name is Torrey Drake. I'm a local realtor. You probably guessed, and every single month I like to put out an update on what is going on in our market, but not just give you the update, but explain what it means to you as a potential buyer or seller. So I'm going to show you some charts, I'm going to show you some data, but I'm also going to explain in simple terms what that actually means if you're considering buying or selling. So you can walk away with this video with some actually actionable information and not just be like, wow, that guy said a whole bunch of numbers and I don't know what it means. My contact information is in the YouTube description. If you want to talk real estate, I'd love to talk with you. All that good stuff. Okay, I'm not going to talk about all these numbers. I'm just going to talk about two or three of them. So most people, they're thinking about, I want to know more about the housing market. They're thinking about housing prices. And so let's talk about that. Housing prices are actually surprisingly up by 4%. Now, what's weird about this is I think this is actually a little bit inflated and artificially inflated. And the reason for that is this is data from October. This happened in October. We get it in November. So this is about 30 days ago what happened. And about 30 days ago what happened is the Fed finally lowered rates, which caused mortgage rates to come down. So many buyers and sellers were sitting on the sidelines waiting for that Fed meeting and for the Fed to lower rates. The Feds did lower rates. Mortgage rates came down a little bit, enough to make a difference. And all those buyers who were sitting on the sidelines jumped in to buy a house as quickly as they could. So in that small amount of time, homes got competitive again, and we saw some appreciation, housing prices going up a bit. Now, between then and now, interest rates have gone up, and they've gone up quite a bit. And I believe once we get the data back, we're going to see this depreciation level. I was going to try to draw a downwards arrow. Housing prices coming back down and leveling off. So if you are a buyer, don't see this and think, oh my gosh, every house is getting into multiple offers again. Because this appreciation came from a very small amount of time where all the buyers were getting in when rates were lower. Now they're higher again. If you're a seller, don't see that and think, we're back, baby. Multiple offers are expected, because they're not. Now, how long are homes taking to sell on average? About 26 days on average. I believe that number is only going to be going up as we get closer to Christmas for obvious reasons that I won't belabor the point by talking about here. So, if you're a buyer, you have time to look at more properties. So, don't be afraid to look at more properties or to sleep on it, but you definitely want to at least have your agent talk to the listing agent to make sure they don't already have any offers, because about 20% of homes in the greater Denver area are still getting into multiple offers their first weekend. 20%, not a ton, but enough that yes, you have time to sleep on it, look at a few homes, but if you find something you really, really like, be ready to write an offer, be ready to move on it. If you're selling a property, it's definitely good to know how long it'll take to sell. Keep in mind, this is an average. Your neighborhood, your price point might be unique. Now, something I really want to talk about here. It's super, super important. It's going to take a second for this to understand why it's important. So bear with me for a moment. But this is the driving. Like, if you understand what I'm about to talk about here, you understand our market, because we're in a very, very, very interesting market that we haven't seen in like 6 or 7 years. And here's what I mean by that. And bear with me for a second. We have been in the seller's market in Denver for like 5 or 6 years now. It just depends to what degree it's been a seller's market, but it's been a seller's market. Right now, we are officially in a neutral market. I'll spare you all the boring details and the verbiage about what that is, but it has to do with this one right here, months of inventory. It would take too long to explain that, but right now we're in a neutral market. And the reason that's important is it's not a safe bet to assume it's a seller's market anymore. Some neighborhoods are a seller's market, some are a buyer's market. Even within the same neighborhood, one price point might be a seller's market, one might be a buyer's market. What I mean by that is if there's one neighborhood that has a bunch of homes for sale in the $500,000 to $600,000 price range, and there's a lot of them, that might be a buyer's market in that neighborhood. But if the homes that are at 750 to 800 in that neighborhood, there's barely any and they sell quick, well, that price point in that neighborhood is a seller's market, while the 500 to 600 is more of a buyer's market and take longer to sell. So the reason I say that is not really to give you any concrete actionable information, but just to say that because we're in a neutral market for the first time in like 6 years, it is more crucial than ever to have the proper expectations in place if you are selling a home about what your neighborhood and what your price point is doing, because neighborhoods and price points can vary greatly in regards to how quickly they'll sell, for how much they'll sell, and what your expectations should be. And same thing if you are a buyer, you gotta work with an agent who understands where the market's at. I know that's vague, but that's just the market we're in. Before I could just say it's a seller's market wherever you go, then that would be a pretty safe bet for the most of the greater Denver area, but it's not that safe of a bet anymore. So our market is in a really fickle, really interesting time right now. And the reason for that is this number right here. Don't worry, I'm not going to talk about all these numbers. Just this one right here, 46%. So this is active listings at month's end. So how many homes are for sale on the market at the end of the month? And if we compare where we were to last year, year over year, we have 46% more homes on the market to choose from. For buyers, that is 46% more homes to choose from. Sellers, that's 46% more homes to compete against. When buyers have more options, what do? They look at more options, they're a lot pickier, and they're more willing to negotiate. When I say picky, they want homes that are updated, remodeled. They're less likely to pay more for a property that backs to a busy road or needs updating. So pricing and how you position and prepare your market or your home for the market become more crucial because you're competing against 46% more homes. Super important to know. Okay, so where do I think our market is going to go? So overall, where is our market at? I got very passionate right now, but just with the amount of inventory that we have, it's a lot harder to speak generally about where we are at. But it's a pretty darn safe bet to say our market is slowing down aggressively as we go into Thanksgiving and Christmas because of the holidays and because of higher interest rates and because we have more inventory for buyers to choose from and for sellers to compete against. So buyers, yes, you have time. Yes, you have more options. Yes, you should look at more homes, but that does not mean get lazy. You want to be pre-approved and ready to pull the trigger if you find the right offer, right home. Because funny enough, my clients just got into a multiple offer situation last night on a home. So it's rare, but it's still happening. Sellers, my dog's barking in the background. Hopefully you can't hear that. Bear, stop. Okay, where do I think our market's going to go? I'm going to skip over this slide here. This is 10 years of data for new listings. I think we're going to this trend right now. So new homes hit in the market. I believe we're going to continue to go down and down and down right now as we go into December. Why do I think that way? Well, because we've seen it every year for the past 10 years that as we go to holidays, less sellers list their home because no one wants to sell during the holidays. And we have higher interest rates. So unless a seller needs to sell, they're probably not going to. And we have more inventory to compete against. So if a seller has a home and they want to sell but don't need to, they might wait for when there's less inventory on the market. I don't think it's a great idea. I'm not going to get into that. So as we go into the holidays, there's going to be less and less and less new listings hitting the market. Buyer pending sales, which is buyers writing offer, as we go into the holidays, I think we're going to continue to see this pretty much stay flat and level off like this. I think listings are going to drop like a rock because they always do. And I think pending sales are going to float gently down. So we're going to have less and less buyers in the market. But the thing is, if a buyer is shopping in the winter, they're a heck of a serious buyer. The same way most sellers selling in the winter are usually more serious sellers. So I think there's going to be a lot of opportunity for buyers going into the winter months, and sellers, you should probably be willing to have a reasonable negotiation with a buyer because those buyers have more options than they have for years, and they are aware of that. That does not mean you're going to give your home away. It does not mean it's a bad time to sell. It just means that it's probably not going to get into a super mega multiple offer situation the first weekend, most likely, which is completely okay. What we've been in the past 5 or 6 years has been a pretty darn serious seller's market, and it's normal and healthy for us to go into a bit of a neutral market. Hope this was helpful. If you want some more concrete, specific information for your neighborhood, your price point, my contact information is in the description below. Or if you're a buyer and you want to know what it looks like to shop in the price point you're going to be shopping in, feel free to reach out. Happy to have a conversation whether you're buying or selling. And guys, thank you for watching the video. Please consider hitting like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.